Hello, welcome to today's vlog. I was gonna close that. I think we'll leave it open. Dominic will be here in 40 minutes or so. You know what? Let's go take a look. Let me show you something. By the way, it is Monday. It is coming down. In fact, it's light right at the moment. It was really heavy snow. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Anyway, it's been going like this all day. They're expecting anywhere from 3 to 8 inches of snow for the Kansas City area, just depending on where you are. Kids went to school today. I am fairly certain they are not going tomorrow. But speaking of the kids in school, this one just got home. Hi. How you doing? Yeah, we got you in off that bus, didn't we? It was crazy out there. Yeah, it was crazy out there, wasn't it? You gonna tell me anything? You gonna tell me anything? Oh, you're up in your menus. Let's go to home. Cancel, exit menu. Okay. There, all right. You were off in a menu there. You were stuck in a menu. Do you want to tell me anything today?
I need the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, we probably better get you down there. You want to tell me anything else? Did you have a good day? Huh? Did you have a good day at school? Got you all fluffed up here. You got your coat on. You got your big, thick blanket. Oh my gosh, big, thick blanket. So, yeah, like I said, the forecast looking pretty heavy for this week, for that matter. The kids just went back to school after their Christmas break today. And then here we are with probably going to be out of school for a couple of days. At least one, I'm betting. I just noticed we got that's right. Of course, the maybe 1 hour that I was gone for the day, there was a package that was going to be dropped off that I had to sign for, which is more than likely, yeah, I know what that is. Someone signed Casey up for a wine club, so she gets like 2 bottles of wine a month. I always have to sign for it. And it's always this grumpy old guy. Like in the summer, I'm in the backyard mowing, and then I get a notification that somebody's at the front door, and I turn off the mower and walk around front. And the guy's like, well, I was about to leave. I'm like, sorry, dude. Jeez. I was in the backyard mowing. Relax, Grandpa. All right, let me get this girl on here. I'm going to shut you guys down. I'll be back in a second. It's just a lot trying to run this all at once while holding you guys. So glad you're home. We'll see if we have nursing tonight, kid. With this weather, I don't know if she should be driving. She lives all the way to Topeka. That's a long drive. If she does, I hope she brings some clothes to stay the night, because I don't think she's making it back in the morning. Oh man. So anyway, like I say, not a lot to share. Sometimes when you guys sign in here, you never know what you're gonna get, right? Well, today, oh, look at that, Hudson Ann. You have a gift. Cute. It's a snowman. All right, I'll have to put that on for the tree for next year. That's really cute. I like it. Looks like a snowman. Huh. Wish we would have got that before. I know why. Because we had to call you out. That's right, you didn't go the last day of school for the semester, did you? So we missed out on things because you weren't there. Oh, darn. Well, we'll save it for next year, okay? So what I was saying is you never know what you're going to get when you come to this channel. Kind of like life. You never know what you're going to get, right? We got to make the best of things, no matter what those things are. Which leads me to what I'm probably going to sit down and do a talking head with you guys about, which is about adapting. Being able to adapt. Because special needs life is not for the complacent, is it? That's right. Can't just sit and wallow in our troubles. We gotta do something about it, don't we? Anyway, let me get this girl changed, comfy in her chair, get her started on her afternoon water. You wanna get in your recliner? Huh? Yeah, then we'll sit down, we'll have a talk. So real quick before we jump into this talking head, that was recorded on Monday when the kids got home, and then there was no school Tuesday or Wednesday because you saw it was snowing like crazy. This is somewhat melted snow. Everything was covered in snow. I should have gotten pictures, videos of it, but was home, busy, cleaning, cooking, doing dad stuff. So anyway, I finally was able to sit down, do the talking head. So here it is. Before I jump into that, I'm going to give a shout out to one of the Hopesters who has reached out to me and asked if I would give them a shout out. And so JJ, here it is. Go check out the Thinking Out Loud podcast, and they have a YouTube channel that goes with it, talking a lot about some of the special needs life and such. So if you'd be so kind, go down in the description below, and there'll be a link. Go check out JJ.
Today I want to talk about adapting, which I'm adapting right now because I recorded this once and only 3 minutes of it got saved. I'm not talking about obvious adaptations like ceiling lifts like we've put in our home, physical adaptations, wheelchair van lifts and building a ramp to get into your house, adapting your physical life. It's not what I'm referring to. What I'm talking about is maybe a little less tangible. I'm using my computer. I'm adapting to not having this memorized, by the way. Being a special needs parent sucks, but so does, or so can, being a typical parent. Because basically parenting is hard. And kids come in all different shapes and sizes and needs. My son Dominic, my typical child, for an example, Dominic was never a napper. Like, he would not sleep during the day at all. Maybe from the time he was born until he was 3 months old, we got some naps out of him, but then he just would not sleep during the day. And most kids sleep 12 to 14 hours when they're 2 or so years old. Dominic was less than 9. Now I think maybe in the last 2 years, he has started to sleep more. Like, it's hard to wake him up. Went to bed, no problem, would get up bright and early, before the sun was up for that matter, and just ready to go. Some people get their kids into a car seat and drive around so they can put them to bed at night most nights. Not Dominic, not a napper. So we had to learn how to adapt to his ways of sleeping. Like, when it came to nap time, I would still put him in bed and I would say, you have to stay in here. You don't have to sleep, but you got to stay in here. I didn't have just stuff I had to get done. I had to keep pushing for him to possibly take that nap, to get the rest maybe that he needed. And let's be honest, when you're a new parent, like, sleep is hard to come by. You get your breaks when you can. And so he would just go in there and I just wouldn't require him to sleep. Because she had no circadian rhythm, Hudson, we were up late at night with her. Sometimes she'd sleep at night, sometimes she wouldn't. Sometimes she'd be asleep during the day, sometimes she wouldn't. It was all over the place. It was really hard to have a schedule around sleep. So Casey and I, again, we had to adapt. Casey would go to bed early. She'd go to bed 3 or 4 hours before I would. And then I would have all things night. And then she would let me sleep an hour or two in the morning and before she needed to head off to work. And then I would get up and take over for the day and then hopefully lay him down for his nap time where he just stayed awake and be able to maybe get a nap in if Hudson wasn't awake and having to do the things I had to do. But we adapted, and it was really hard at first. Not just getting used to the schedule of that, but also because Casey and I were like passing ships in the wind. We had no real time where we had time for each other to even have a conversation, for that matter, or dinner together, or any number of things. It was a lot, but we over time got used to it. And we got so used to it that only a couple of years ago did we even change from that type of schedule to one where we're on more of the same sleep schedule because, fortunately we've got night nursing now. That helps a lot. for a very long time, we were on that schedule that we learned to adapt to. That's what adaptation is learning. Typical parents have plenty of things that they have to adapt to. I know that us special needs parents are constantly trying to, or should be trying to, figure out how to adapt to our lives, how to navigate doctor's appointments and meds and just any host of things. But typical parents, we've got to remember that they have to adapt to things too. They have to adapt to new schedules. They've got a kid that's interested in baseball and one that's in band, and they've got to adjust their schedule so that one's getting to practice and this one's getting to practice. Or a kid could get sick. They could have a couple of days where they're down and they can't go to school, and mom or dad or somebody has to stay home, has to take a sick day or work from home, or just figure it out. They've got to adapt. We all adapt to new things in our life. Maybe it's starting a new job. You got to learn who your coworkers are. What time are you supposed to be there? How late are we expected to stay? Is my boss an overlord or an easygoing person? Just, moving to a new house. Maybe you were in a 2-story house and now you're in a ranch. And like us, we adapted the house, for example. Where are the light switches? When you were young, maybe it's just changing grades. You go from 3rd grade to 4th grade, and that teacher has a whole different expectation of you. And 4th grade is a completely different set of things that you're supposed to learn and what's expected of you, and changing seasons for that matter. We all change because of seasons somewhat. I mean, if you're in LA and San Diego, maybe the weather's always the same, but you get the coats out because winter's coming. You get the shorts and the short sleeves out and your swim trunks out because summer is on its way. But again, it's just learning. And the bottom line is that learning equals growth. And if you stop learning, you're going to get left behind and you're going to be unable to keep up with the changing universe. But when you're at the start, at the beginning of learning something, you're going to be terrible at it. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be a challenge. You're going to feel like a failure. But you have to keep going. You have to keep learning if you want or even need to get better at that thing that you're adapting to. Albert Einstein once said, when you stop learning, you start dying. Because the brain is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. The less we use it, the more it atrophies. But the truth is like none of what I've said so far matters unless you've accepted your situation. Because I have met so many special needs parents that are years into being special needs parents that still haven't accepted their situation. They're still shouting about how unfair this life is. To me, it's like shouting at a mountain because it's there versus planning a new path and finding a way around or climbing up the mountain. But instead, they just build a little cabin at the bottom and walk out the door every day and shout at the mountain like, "Oh, damn you, mountain!" I was like, "You ruined everything." I was like, the mountain's not going anywhere. The mountain didn't grow there to try to stop you. The mountain doesn't care about how mad you are. The mountain is just there. When we choose to become parents, we imagine what our life is going to be. We imagine this destination that we're going to get to with our kids. This see them off to college and walk them down the aisle to be married, and this whole imagination of what a typical parent thinks parenting is going to be. But it's all imagination, this destination of, okay, well, bye kids, we raised you. Good luck on your lives being adults. That's what we imagine. Again, I'm saying imagine a lot because that's all up here. The reality is the mountain. The reality is that the journey is hard, even for typical parents. I think if people who are deciding to have kids knew how hard it really was, if they could just have some perception of how hard it really is, there'd be a lot less people having kids. And if they knew how real the possibility of becoming a special needs parent is, they probably also would have a lot less kids than that, because it's all hard. But some of us are mad because we didn't get the thing that we imagined. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that someone sits here and lets the supposed to monster whisper in their ear. It's like this Yeti that's hiding out behind trees along the trail that's going to jump out at any time and grab you. And you're afraid of it. I'm afraid of it. We all hear its voice. I mean, probably at least once a week still to this day. It whispers in my ear sometimes. Oh, look at those 8th graders walking by home from school. You know, Hudson was supposed to be one of those kids, was supposed to be friends with those kids. Did you notice the neighbors are going on a ski trip? Yeah, the neighbors are going on a ski trip. You know, you are supposed to be the family that skis together. Too bad Hudson needs full care at 13 years old. I mean, 13, that's when parents are supposed to be able to go out on a Saturday night because they can let their 13-year-old watch the 11-year-old. Obviously, they're in my head. Obviously, I hear those things. Obviously, the negative creeps in. And sometimes I let it. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. This is bullshit. That's bullshit, and this is bullshit, and this is bullshit. It's like, sometimes I get mad at a typical family. Like, there's a part of me that gets mad at some family who has no responsibility for my life. They have no bearing on how I'm living my life. Just because they're living a typical life, I'm mad because they don't get how unfair my life is. They don't understand. How can they live their typical life and go and have freedoms and fun? And come on, like, that is just insanity, because it's literally all in my head. I'm letting myself be angry because my little monster, my little supposed to monster, has whispered in my ear, and now I'm mad because my life didn't turn out the way that I imagined it to be. That doesn't actually exist. That's not a real thing. Those people are just living their lives. And I need to do my best to live my life for the way that it is. I am the whispering monster. That monster is me. That monster still exists inside of me, but the chances of it hurting me are like really small now compared to how they used to be. Look, I know that I sound preachy when I say all of this, especially to someone who is letting that monster whisper in their ear, especially someone who just can't figure out how to stand up to that monster. I have one special needs parent friend that has literally called me a Pollyanna. And I don't know if you've ever heard that term, but a Pollyanna is someone who is just constantly and excessively positive. And I bet that I do look that way to other people who are in hard situations. Because I'll bet that people who are trying to be positive, because that's all I'm doing is I'm trying. I'm not always positive. The pessimist in me shows up all the time. I'm constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, for that matter. But I'm trying not to. I'm doing my best to not live in that space. Some people just can't imagine. They've not gotten to the point where they can even imagine, even though their imagination is strong, because they're afraid of that mountain. They can't imagine trying to climb that mountain. And when they see somebody else who's trying, who hasn't climbed all the way up that mountain, who hasn't gotten over the mountain, who keeps going up that trail every day and trying again and coming back bruised and coming back defeated, they're in their cabin and they walk out their door and they go, "Hey, stop! What are you doing? Don't go up that mountain again. It's scary up there. You'll never be able to climb that mountain. Stop! Stop!" Because they care. They don't want you. They're, "Hey, stay here. It's safe. It's safe. Just don't try. Just stay here. We'll all cry together." And I'm like, nope, no. I'm heading up that mountain again. I might be back in a few because I might not ever get over it. You're right, it's a big mountain, but I'm fucking going up the mountain. Get your hands off me. I'm trying because I'm going to adapt, because I'm going to keep trying to be better. And you know what? I keep getting further and further up it. I keep going farther and farther and farther with every attempt. I'm finding new paths. I'm finding new ways. Sometimes I fight the Yeti and it wins. And sometimes, a lot of times lately, I beat them. I beat the Yeti. I win the fight. But I still come back with bruises. I still come back with scratches. I still come back afraid to go up that mountain. But I go. But I go up that mountain because, damn it, I'm not going to just sit here at the bottom. Every time I try to climb it, I get stronger. I learn more. I adapt to the situation. So speaking of adapting, I know it's going to take a little while to adapt to me doing this on a more regular basis. I'm still adapting to how to get this set up correctly, whether I should memorize things I'm going to say, whether I should speak to you off the cuff, what the lighting is like, what the sound is like. Things have to change. YouTube is a constantly changing platform. The vlog style is not as successful of a style as it used to be. I have to do things in order to try to continue to grow this channel, because I don't want the channel to go away, but in order for it to continue, I have to do this. Hudson's gone all day. We don't do a lot in the evenings besides just hang out. There's not a lot of just filming our day-to-day. I'm going to continue doing that. I'm still going to do vlog style, but you've got to get used to seeing this more often. So hopefully you will adapt, and if not, then thank you for sticking around as long as you did. That's it for today's vlog. Talking head. It was partially a vlog, right? You got two starts to a vlog, and then you got this. I'm going to remind you guys that to the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. So go be somebody's world. And I don't know, let me know in the comments whether you like this or you don't. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't. Let me know what you'd like me to change if you don't like this. Let me know what you liked. I would love to hear from you in the comments, as always. So with that, I'm going to tell you guys bye, and I'll see you in the next episode.